If you guys want to share the link out with your friends, anybody who you know is interested in trading, you can share it out today too if you want to. You can share it out today too. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. Drop this one more time. Okay. All right. So, oh, awesome. Awesome. That's a good check this. Okay. Let's see. So today, so far, we got Dianna as how can I look at two of my charts at the same time, just like I have in markup, because I know how to do it, but it shows a different markup. Cool, cool. Couple things on that. That's an easy one. That's an easy one. So, first of all, happy International Women's Day to all
Yes.
international women. You guys are some superheroes. Um, all of y'all some superheroes. I'm gonna mute you guys. Let's see, Neil in. Let me turn off the waiting room so I don't have to keep doing this. Security. Disable waiting room. Okay.
Think Eureka's challenge because
Cool, cool, cool. Okay. So the first question was, hang on, from my homie. What's up? What's up? What's up? Okay. So this layout button right here gives you the option to select multiple layouts, right? You can do any of these choices right here as far as the layout goes. But you'll have more options when you have a Pro Plus, and a premium account. You have more options. And the thing you got to consider when you're doing the layout is which broker you have, right? So right now you can see I have Owanda, and if I open up another broker, so I'm using GBP JPY, and the broker is Owanda, and I'm going to open up another one, and I'm gonna make sure that when I open up the next GJ, that is also Owanda, right? So a lot of times, what's usually the issue if you're doing this is there's two things, right? You'll have one that's Owanda and another that's somebody else. So if I open up GJ and we use, let's see, forex.com, and I mark up something on the chart that's on here, it's not going to show over here. right? And that's because it's two different brokers. So this is GJ under forex.com. This is GJ under Owanda. But if I go to GJ under Owanda in this window, it's going to be there, the same line, same level, right? Also, what you got to consider when you're doing, when you're updating this, is you need to make sure that this link is is checked, because if it's not, anything you do in here, it won't be added over in the next window. So those are the two main things you have to do. You have to make sure that you're using the right broker, and you have to make sure that you are the link button is selected. So that way, everything you do in each of the windows is associated with each other. So now that is linked, it won't show anything that I've done already, but if I add something else, it'll show it, right? So let's say we add a line right here. I don't know what that is, 42 down here, right? You can see it added the same line, right? Cool beans. So that's an easy peasy. Um, Also, the next other thing you need to consider, just since we're talking about it, let's clear this up, is you need to make sure that before you have auto save on, and then aside from having auto save, you want to make sure that you are doing everything in the same layout. This layout, the name of this layout is how to session. What you'll notice is like this one right here, this layout is called ITC course. So everything I do in this layout is inside of this layout. Everything I do inside of the how-to session layout is inside of this how-to session layout. So if I open up SPX over here in one of these windows, everything I do inside of that window will only affect the SPX that lives into the how-to session. If I do anything over here, I won't be making any changes. I, I won't get anything. Uh, this won't affect it. So you you'll have to make sure that as you're updating this, you're in the same layout too. So got it, Dianna. Got it. Cool
I
bean.
got it. Thank you. But for some reason, I have the same thing you said, like the same broker, the same everything. But the second layout, it's the old markup I had. So I don't understand why it's not sharing, even though I have the same broker, I have everything the same.
Is this check?
Yeah, that's on. Yep.
Both of these are the same, right here and
Yep.
here.
Well, yep. Yep.
And are you in? Are you looking at it in the same layout? Like, is this the same layout as the other one you're looking at?
Um, well, it says, I don't know. I mean, I only have one.
You got one window open, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And let's share screens.
Okay.
Let me see.
Let me move this.
Security, share screen, and I'm gonna stop sharing.
Okay, dogs. Let me move it. Okay, can you see it?
Yep. Yep.
So you see how I have the two layouts, and for some reason it doesn't show the same thing I have on this side, on this side.
Hit the reset on your chart.
I don't see it. Hold on.
Go go to the go to the 4 hour on both of them. And I just want to see price at the same place. Okay. It is working. It's working, but you did all of this stuff over here before this was linked. So it's not going to show the old stuff. It'll show everything you do moving forward though.
And how come if I want to have NAS here in one side and the other side I want to have another pair, how you do that?
Same way. Just click in this space right here in the chart you want to have it in, and then you'll just type it in. So like if you want to do SPX, right here, it's over here. All you got is
Yeah, you see? So I don't know.
yours is doing something weird.
That's why I'm here, because I don't know.
Yours is doing something weird though. Let's see. Oh, let's see. And now you want NAS over here.
There's something, that blue thing on the left side, maybe a clone. So it does the same thing. See where the tools are on the left? It looks like a chain.
Yeah, this is supposed to be like that though.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that's supposed to be that way. Let's see something. So let's say NAS 100, Wanda. Yeah, that is weird. Let's see. We have locked or something. Okay, now let's see. There you go. So it's because you had this stuff locked right here. All you need is this crosshair. I don't know why that does that, but everything synced. So all you want to have is this sync. When you had this sync, all these selected, this made it locked. So you should be good now.
So now you see how you put XPX 500, so that means I have to mark it up again?
If you ever marked it up in this window, you should be good. So let's see, SPX over here. And then, like I said, if this is like basically like saying that this is the first time you open this window, so you would have to apply all this. But what you can do is, so that you don't have to do all of this over, and save, let me see, can you do this? Save this. on. So can you, I can't do it over here because I'm using a Mac, but does it give you the option to select all of these?
Let me see.
If you hit like Control A
So,
or select one and then hold Shift and just slide the thing down? No? Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to do it over then.
okay, so that's how it works. Okay, I was just wondering too. I was like, how can you have the same tool? All right, so I guess I will
Yeah,
have to mark it up again.
you will, but I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Hide all drawings. Is there drawings, indicators? No. Screen and drawing mode. There isn't no way you can copy this. It's gotta be some way. Chart. Okay. Nope. I guess not.
I guess.
But we got that.
Thank you so much, Cory.
No problem.
You're the best.
No problem. Can you save it with a different template? Well, so you can do the templates. You can do a template, but I don't know if you can do, I think you can only do an indicator template and not, let's try it and see. Let's try it. Template. Yeah, only an indicator template. Yeah, only indicator template. So, okay. All right, that's a good question because I'm pretty sure somebody else needed to know that too. The next question, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, but Asmaou, did I say that right, sir or ma'am?
It's Asmaou.
Asmaou, okay. I was close, right? I was close. What kind of confirmations will you be looking at in the consolidation zone to enter a buy? Are we referring to if we trade in a breakout or trading inside of the consolidation?
Do you mind explaining both?
Both, okay.
Thank you.
So if I'm trading, if I am trading inside of a range, right? First of all, if I'm going to trade inside the range, I'm going to be trading from a higher time frame range on the lower time frame, right? So if I'm going to be using, let's say I'm going to be using this range right here, where we created the high and the low, and we're going to trade from top to bottom, right, of this range. I'm only going to be looking for smaller time frame moves inside of here. So like maybe 5 minute or the 1 minute chart. And if I'm doing that, right, inside of this range, I'm going to be looking for impulse candles, right? So if I'm near a high, I'm going to be looking for bearish engulfing candles or wick rejection. If I'm near the low of the range, I'm going to be looking for impulse candles, bullish engulfing candles, or wick rejection. So, and I also want to make sure that it's going to actually trade inside of it, right? So if I see something like this, then I'm probably going to leave it alone until it comes back inside of the range. So now I have an area like this right here where price comes back in the range, right? So what I'll be waiting for is one, this bullish engulfing candle, and then this bullish engulfing candle right here. So these two would have given me my confirmation that it's okay to trade back inside of this, right? I would really like to see a couple things, but I don't see it for this. So in this case, let's check out the 15-minute at this same spot. Right. So what I like to see with all of my trades is a 50% entry, right? I like to see impulse candles, and then I like to see that impulse candle have 50% of the candle taken out. So this would be my candle that says I could take this trade right here. And I know that because we've made a temporary high and price has traded back above that and returned back to that same little area and rejected it, right? This would have been where I would try to take my entry from. If I don't do that, I have the option to make this a little high, and then I'm gonna trade break and retest, break, this the retest, and then go. If I miss those two, right, because that's one entry right here. This is the retest entry right here. This is another retest entry right here. And then finally, if I miss those two, I'm gonna wait for this move, right? And again, I know I could take this because this candle, bullish engulfing. I want 50% of this candle. It eventually happens right here. There is a fourth entry right here, right? This all from the 15-minute, right? So, and also, like, because I'm seeing the same area from the higher time frame, I can go down to the 5-minute, can go to the 5-minute, and look in this same area. There's the 5-minute entry right here, right here, right here, and right here. So it's the same look. I'm just gonna get it from a different time frame, right? It's the same look. If I'm taking this sell, I'm only gonna sell when it gets to the top, right? But in order for me to sell, I need to see with rejection, like I did right here. I also need to see impulse bearish candle, which I see right here. And I'm gonna be waiting for this candle to give 50%. It took it a little while. But it happened right about here. Another place I would take this is if it breaks below this low right here. So this would have actually been our first entry right here. Let me look at the 15-minute. Where are we? Right here. So this candle right here gave us 15-minute. This candle gave us 50% of that. So this candle would have broke and closed below. This candle retest. This one, this our first entry. If I missed that, I would have got this entry right here. This would have took a little while, but I would have got this entry. Let me see something. I would have got this entry right here. If I miss these two entries, I take the same approach, right? Here's impulse candle, bearish impulse candle. It's near the high, 50% of that candle. It's about right here. There's another entry right here. And so now we understand the entries, right? So what about the exit? If we're in a buy from the bottom, our goal is to trade to this high. And if we make this high, our exit is at the top, or once we see a bearish candle, bearish engulfing candle, right? And we know we can trade at least to this high. And if we can make it to the top of the zone, our stop loss should be very, very well in profit at that point, right? Because we already know we nearing some place that it could reject. Same way is as if we were taking this sell. If we taking this sell, right, the first place we want to look to trade to is where is the most recent low, right? It's down here, the last high. I'm sorry. I actually I said it right the first time. So we just came from this high, right? If we leaving this high, we want to trade back down to here, right? So our goal is to take our entries up here and trade back down to here, right? If it doesn't get back to it, we already know that we would have had an exit right here. This is the first time we see bullish engulfing candles right here. If we took it from here, this is the first time we see bullish engulfing candles. So we could take partials right here, or once it trades down here, we could take another partial. If we took it from here, this would have gave us the full move all the way back down to our last low, which was right here. And then if we just want to hold it, we would have got the low of the zone right over here. So if we want to trade the breakout of this area, we're going to be looking for a similar situation right here, where this candle is our candle that breaks and close above this zone right here at this point, right? This single candle. The following candle is it doesn't come completely back down to it, but you could still use that candle. And let's zoom in real quick. It misses it just by a hair. But if you didn't get in on that, you would have had 1, 2, 3 opportunities to get in on this move from the breakout, right? Where you would have got in on this candle or this candle or even this candle right here. And you would have got the breakout entry up until this point right here. So from this point to here, right? And if you miss that, right, you also had another retest entry. It did kind of go a little deep into it, right? You could have got in over here, over here. It did go in a little deep, but 9 times out of 10, you would have hit your first target and second target on this move. It would have been a little choppy, but you would have done it. You also had another entry right here for this move up, little choppy, but this would have got you in the move as well. So that was 3 opportunities. I'll give you another video you can watch that I've done before that goes into entries and what's a good entry, what's a bad entry, and a lot more detail than this. But yeah, I'll make sure that I share that out to you guys. Okay. cool
Is it the
beans.
good, the bad, the ugly video again?
Yep.
I knew it.
Yep. I mean, that's just that one's like it says it all. And it's a lot of examples. So yeah. What's up, trees?
Thank you.
Okay.
What's up, Cory?
What's going on?
Not much, not much.
How was y'all trip, man? How was y'all trip?
It was great. It was great.
You
It was
had
busy and fun.
yeah.
I'm a blessed man. That's all I got to say, bro.
Yeah, you are, man.
He
You
sure is. Let me stop.
are. Let's see. Can you share the video too? Can you share the video with me too? Yeah, I'm gonna drop it for everybody. And if you in the Discord, hey, if you in the Discord, it's already there. Let me show you. You already got it if you're in the Discord, so which you should be, unless you're a guest on the call. How many people we got on here as guests? How many guests? Drop some 777s in the chat. In the chat. Yeah. Okay. 1, 2. Thomas, you ain't no guest, man.
How you doing, bro?
What's up, bro? Tell me say no guest, man. So it's under trading resources. This is the video. Here is the sample. We only got one guest, man. We got more than one. I know some people on here. Y'all don't like sevens. Okay, and then this is the video right here. And it is what it says. I go over good entries, okay entries, bad entries, so you can see exactly what all of those look like. So you'll know, like, all right, cool. That's not a very great entry, but I'll know if I can stay in it or not. Okay, don't get mad at me because I'm probably about to murder this. Shakaunna?
Shakaunna.
Shakaunna?
Yeah.
Almost again.
It's okay.
Shakaunna. Okay, so your question is, what's a good checklist to have before entering trades? For a beginner, a lot of people have like like I said, it depends on how you are trying to enter the trade, right? But always the main thing you want to do is if you're going to be entering a trade, you need to know first thing, what is the higher time frame, right? So if I look at this chart and I go right here, right? So right now at this moment, and I'm just looking at this off of the 15-minute, I would be like, oh, I should buy, right? Just looking at the 15-minute, right? But what does the daily say, right? The daily agrees. Daily actually agrees, right? We've been on a super uptrend, right? Super huge uptrend. And now, once you know, okay, I see what the daily says, what does the 4-hour say, right? 4-hour says still same thing, buy, buy, buy. But if you notice, we are starting to see some down candles, right? So this would probably be my high. And since this was my most recent area of rejection, I would use this as my low, right? Even bring it up a little bit, right? And for me, if I'm going to be in this area, I'm either going to trade the high or the low out of the breakout. But a checklist for me is, one, know what the higher time frame says. it's not going to always be as obvious as it just was, that it's pushing up. Two, move from the daily, or the weekly, or whatever the highest time frame that you choose to look at. Like if you're going to be doing day trading, intraday trading, right? I would say look at the daily, 4 hour, and the 1 hour chart the most. If you're going to be swinging, I would say look at the weekly, the daily, and the 4 hour chart. You would get your direction from the weekly. You would get your zones from the daily, and then you would get your entries off the 4 hour. If you're intraday trading, you would look at the daily, 4 hour, and the 1 hour. You would get your direction from the daily, your bias from the daily. You would get your zones from the 4 hour, and you would get your entries off of the 1 hour, right?
No, I said
If you're gonna be doing like
Can
intraday
you say the
scalping,
intraday again? Oh, sorry.
yeah, intraday, daily, 4 hour, and 1 hour chart. And this kind of goes, you can kind of cross this as well between the daily, the intraday and scalping, like we kind of do. We do intraday / scalping. So, these kind of intertwine, but you really want to focus on the 4 hour, 1 hour, and the 15 minute in our case, right? But you want to kind of blend the two, right? Because usually what we do is we try to intraday into a swing position. Most of us do, right? Most of us want to get into one position and then just hold it for days. And by us doing that, we kind of need to focus on the daily too. So, but your higher time frame is always the most important time frame. So if you see something on the higher time frame, you want to dial into that more so than you would on the lower time frame. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And then entering the trades, um, we kind of went over that already. But I like to see that that if my if I'm taking a trade that I want to see, uh, I want to see it react to a higher time frame level, right? So if we took this trade, it would be reacting to a daily high, right? Because we haven't been here in this area in quite some time, right? Since 2018. So price at this level is going to give more of a move than if we looked at price from, let's say, a 15-minute area, right? So if we go like to the 5-minute chart, right? I'm not going to really consider what's going on at this high versus these highs, right? Because these are the higher time frame highs right here at this point, which is actually right here, right? So at this point, we're at a higher time frame high. I'm probably not going to focus on what's going on right here because these are 5-minute highs. These don't give the same reaction as this daily would, right? So that's why it's very, very important to focus on what's going on higher time frame. Okay. Senate, what's up, man? What's going on? What's going on? How you been? How you been? Can you please mark up the chart as if you were going to trade it now for intraday? For intraday. All right. Let's look at let's look at let's look at this, right? So if I'm going to intraday this, right? I want to see my daily. Um, we don't have a lot of rejection. It's kind of just pushing through this on GJ. So I'm just going to look left, and I'm going to use this zone right here for the daily. And then over here, I'm going to use this one right here, which is coming from over here. My daily zones, right? Then dropping down to 4 hour. I'm gonna just clean this up so I can catch some of these wicks right here. And then I'm going to look for a high. I want to measure this right quick. About 100 pips. I also see that I can use this level right here. And now let's just go get some targets, right? So this is coming from this high. This is my most recent rejection, which lines up with this area and these wicks right here, and then this wick right here. So now I'll simply trade the breakout of this high or this low. If I'm gonna look for that, I got about a 50, 40 pip, 45 pip range. If I hit my latest target, I'll be looking to trade down to this daily, and then we'll need to come to find targets in between this high and this high, right? So before we do that, let's just go to the 1 hour. If I break out of here, we can actually refine this a little more, and we can trade out of this area from this low to this high, right? As far as picking targets, we're going to look for the most recent rejection. If I take my mouse and I scroll down, where do I see rejection? I see some here, but I also see some here. I'll put this right in between the two of those. So that'll be our target one. If I take my mouse and go down below, I start seeing rejection right here. That also lines up with this area as well. So guess what? That's going to be target 2 right about here. I can add a third target, right? So I'm going to take my mouse, go down. Where do I see rejection? If I just go left, I see some here. I see some here, see some here, see some here, see some here. It's coming from over here, right? There is my next rejection area right here. And then my goal would be to trade down to this area right here, right? I'll just slide you down just a little bit and make that a 4th target right here. And again, I'm seeing this rejection when I take my mouse, I go down. I can see some areas right here. I could have put it right here, but let's just make it even. I see a higher low right here, so I'll just add it to this point. The entire trade in this case would be from this break, from this low down to this low, which would have been about 80 pips, right? And I'm taking profit along the way. Now for the buyer side, because we have such a huge area between here and here, we're going to need to come up to the higher time frames to get targets. Still nothing between here and here. I'm going to scroll over, still nothing, right? So we got to go up to the daily now before we can get some targets, because when we're all the way over here, there is nothing in between this and this, right? Until we get to 2018. This little wick right here is the first time we get some rejection, right? Guess who that is? That is our first target. right here, right? And now if I take my mouse, go up, when is the next time that I get any kind of impact, right? So if I go over this, it's just a full body candle. If I go right here, just a full body candle. If I go right here, just a full body candle. But when I get here, I get some kind of rejection right here, right? That's the first time I get some kind of rejection right here outside of this, right? Guess who that is? That's target 2 right here. That's target 2. Now I'm going to take the same approach, take my mouse and just go up and across. Full body, full body, full body. We already got this rejection. Here's the next rejection, but guess it's a little too close. So we're not going to use that one, right? That's 90093. This is, that's about 8 pips. So we still don't want to use that one. So if we're not going to use this one, let's go up, and the next level is right here. That'll be our next target. That's about an additional 8 to 9 pips, right? Okay, so I'm going to come back to the center. Where is my next target? So I'm going to take my cursor, go back over here, full body, wick rejection, right? Right here. But this is a little close, right? So in this case, instead of using this wick, I would probably use the body instead. The close right here, open and close right here, and use that as a target. If I don't want to use that, I also got this wick that's hanging around this same area too, right here. That would be a good target as well. It's just before the body and of the close and open of these two candles, and it's a wick rejection. This trade will give us a total of roughly 80 pips right here as well. So for me on GJ, this would be a good trade. And I can, not only could I trade this from an intraday perspective, but I could eventually end up swinging this as a swing trade. And I know overall, my overall target is to eventually get back to this point at some point. But if I don't, that's cool. I got about 4 targets along the way, and I can just trade those until I get to this point up here. Okay. Does that explain everything? Here's your breakout for the buy. Got some decent targets. You want a TP along the way. Your sell will look like this. And definitely got some good targets along the way for this. Oops. For the sell, this will be your buy. This would be your sell. And these would be targets, right? And then as far as stop losses go, if I'm looking at a stop loss, if this is going to be my entry right here, right? I'm going to take the same approach as I did to find targets as well, right? So I'm going to take my mouse and I'm going to go down for the buy. This is the first time I get any rejection. So I'm going to make sure that this area, if I enter this trade for the breakout, that my stop loss is at least underneath this area. And I'm probably going to use the body of this down candle, this bearish engulfing candle right here, right? So my stop loss will look a little like this, where this would be my target right here. And then my stop loss would be about here, right? Where this would be just underneath here. And at worst case, I will use the entry for the sell as my stop loss, where I would be putting it just below here, just below there. So best case stop loss here. Worst case stop loss here. But I would want to see my stop loss stay in this area for me to know that's a good trade. Overall, the setup will give you a 3-to-1 setup for this trade. 3.14 would be your setup on this trade for the buy. For the sell, you would take a similar approach, right? If this was your entry, your target goal would be down here. I would take my cursor from here to here, same area of rejection, right? So I'm going to make sure that in this case, my stop loss is above this area of rejection. So I'm going to put it like right above here somewhere. At best case, this is going to be my stop loss. I still got a 3.47-to-1 risk reward ratio. At worst case, I'll put it above this high. I'm still 2-to-1, 2.24-to-1. So I still got a decent risk reward ratio. Let me see. We got a question real quick. Thank you for that breakdown, the markup. And do you maximize all the TPs without being taken out of the trade? I take a different approach. One, because I typically only trade like gold, SPX. And for me, when I trade, here, I'll drop this for you guys as a setup. If you guys take it, let me know. GJ. If you guys know, I usually only trade SPX, gold, silver, and cryptos. I'm starting to do that just on the weekend, right? But for me, anytime I get in a trade on SPX and I'm 50 to 100 pips up, one, my stop loss is in profit. Two, well, it's in profit or at break even. Two, I take partials along the way. So at 50 to 100 pips, I'm taking partial. So, and the way that I teach you guys how to trade is a little different from how I actually trade, because for one, I usually don't take the break and retest. I will take it, but I'm usually using that as an add-on entry. I actually try to get, like, if I'm taking this buy, let me hide the drawings. If I was taking a buy and looking for a buy in this area, I would have been looking for it right here, right? And then this would have been a break and retest right here. I would have added on right here, right? So I would have already saw that this made a low. This recent high got broken over here. This would have been a confirmation for me to say, this is probably going to buy from here. Once I saw this situation, this high getting taken out over here, I would have been looking for impulse candle or rejection candles to say that this is going up. And if you look at this, right, this is a little zone on the lower time frame. This is an impulse candle. I would have been looking for 50% of that candle to get my entry. which would have been right around here, right? Where this impulse candle would have said that this is ready to go. I'm seeing buying. If it comes back here, reject it like it did right here, I would have got that trade. And if not, I would have got entries right here or right here to take this part of the trade. And then by the time it got here or right here, I would have been breaking retest, add on right here, and then I would also be in this trade. But I would have partial. Once I would have got my 50% measurement right here, right? And measured this part, right? This would have been around my entry right here. And the way I use my fibs to get my targets too, right? So if I entered around here, my first target would have been 0, right? My 0 would have been my first target. And I would have taken a big chunk of my trade off right there, right? And then my next target would have been 27, negative 27. I know that if I hit negative 27, my next goal is going to be negative 168. If it keeps going, I'm going to make a symmetrical move of the 100, negative 100, and then this would have been the next place. But I'm taking a partial here, 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 and here. Every time I normally take about 50% off right here, 50% of what's left right here, 50% of what's left right here, and then I'm gonna leave in whatever else is still in right here. So I don't necessarily look for, this is TP 1, 2, 3. I know that if I'm getting in down here, I know that it's trying to get to this high. If it breaks above this high, I know it's going to try to get to this high, which it pretty much did right here. And that high lines up with this negative 27 right here. This high lines up with the 0 right around here. If we got in right here, it hit this, right? If we added on right here and had a partial in right there, it hit this 27 right here. And now what is it doing? This to me says that I am likely to keep buying because this high hasn't gotten taken out yet, right? And there's some other stuff that just happened right here that implies that this has still got some room to go up because it's going to want to eventually take out this high. So if I was in this trade, I would feel real comfortable with getting this negative 168. I mean, negative 618 right here. I would feel really, really comfortable with getting that. Just like right now, I'll go over this trade I'm in right now. This is like just a demo account, but I'm in my live account too. But this area right here, we made a low, right? Prior to me getting into this trade, right? We made this low. And let me hide the fibs right quick. This down move implies that it wants to go up, right? So I know this area is important, right? So if you measure this move from this low, you'll notice that we had a little short-term high right here after we made this low, and it got taken out right here, right? So I'm gonna put my fibs right here to here, right? and then it came back down, gave you the 50% entry, and it ran, right? But now on the way down, you take the same approach. I'm gonna measure from this low to this high. I still think this is a bullish move, right? So I'm gonna go from low to high. This pretty much gave me the 50% entry, but I don't get any bullish. I got a fake out right here, but I do get a bullish impulse candle right here, right? So once I'm seeing that I'm near the 50%, right? You can go to the lower time frames, or you can use this time frame. If it holds, you're gonna take your trade from here. But if it doesn't, your optimal want to look for 618, right? So let me hide this too.
219.
Let me hide this. Let me get rid of you right quick. And get rid of you right quick. So once I see that it's at 50%, that's like eyeballs. My eyes start looking at the chart. But I want to see it come down to 618.70 area before I enter the trade, which you can see right here on the demo. That's where I got in, and this is the same place that I entered into my live trade as well. Where am I going to trade back to? Right? If I got in here, where is my zero? My zero lines up with the high of yesterday, or well, now today, right? If it hits the high, I'm going to take a big partial right here. This is where my goal is. I'm trying to get to this high, right? I got in as low as it should go, and now I'm trying to get to this high. I'll know that I'm good once it takes out this little area right here, which is coming towards right now. And, you know, once you understand, like, once you understand where its price going, then, you know, like, I know this is, you know, pushing up to push down at this area and reject. I'm going to take my buys from over here. I know I should see it go up. So this is where I'm going to be looking at my first target. Could I target along this way as it go up? Yep. This would be a target right here. Maybe this is a target right here, and then that would have been a target over here. But if I know where it's likely trying to shoot for, then I'm just going to ride it until I either get this target right here, or I get a bearish engulfing candle to take it to the downside. Okay. I hope that it explains some stuff. I know it might be a little off topic, or a little, some people might not be aware of that trading style, but that's what I would be looking for myself. Cool. Oh, I think I got all the questions answered already. That was quick. Let me see. Let me scroll back. I got that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Yeah, got that.
Hey, Cory, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, yep.
I got a quick one, maybe a review, per se. So since you in this trade already, and I think what was that trade we got in last week? We all got greedy, whatever trade that was. You want to remind everybody why a trade isn't ready to continue to go from what you told me. I remember what you told me. So like this one right here looked like it was ready to go, which is why you still holding on. You ain't taking no partials yet, right?
Well, one reason is because, well, I mean, it's a lot of reasons why I'm okay with holding this, but that's gonna go into some stuff that I don't know if everybody on here is familiar with, but I'm taking this trade off of an order block, which I don't want to go into detail about, but I'm taking it off of an order block. So that's why I'm comfortable with this trade to take this and hold it.
My bad. That's not the part I was talking about, but pretty
You
much like
explain it.
okay, so so last week when we got in that trade, whatever night it was, I think it was Wednesday night. When we had got that, where Cory called that sniper entry, because we already went in like 80 to 100 pips in profit. The fact that it came back down to that entry was telling us that it wasn't ready, which is why it got us to draw down and never came back. And we had to exit.
Exactly. That's a good point. So when you get these 50% entries, a sniper entry or whatnot, it should not come back down to it at all. Right. So just like this move right here, if we measure this, right, we had this low, we had this little short-term high, that was 50%, and your entry right here, it never ever came back to that again at all. By the time it came back, we would have hit the 0 that would have been right here, the -27 that would have been right here, 618, and the 100. So it never came back down to it, right? If we took this, I don't think we got an entry on this one for the sell. The sell didn't give us an entry. You would have had to break and retest this, right? Yeah, you would have had to break and retest. Let me look at the hour. On the 1 hour, if you took a 50% entry, the way that I just explained it to you, your entry would have came around here. And you remember when I was talking to you on the phone, Chin, you were like, should I take this? And I was like, yeah, wait, right? This would have been your 2 o'clock entry right here, where 50% of this candle, you measure it, right? High, low right here. This would have gave you that 50% entry right around here. And now you're just looking for your entry at this point. But if you had took that trade right there, right, for one, right, there's your 50%. Here was the 0 would have been right here. 27 negative would have been right here. 618 would have been right here. So you would have hit all the targets except for the 100. But I mean, remember, we partial right here, we partial right here, we partial right here. And then the rest of the trade is only a quarter, not even a quarter of what's left, right? I'm just gonna put that at break even, right? So if it does come back and hit me, I don't care, because I'm already up on all of these positions right here. Already up. So by the time, if this comes back, and by the time it comes back, at any point of the day, night, weekend, whatever, I could take a partial whenever I want to at any given time. Or I could just let this stop me out at break even. Who cares, you know? I that's how you let your trades run though. And if I got that entry, right, I would have got at least 453 pips out of this trade, right? And on this trade that I'm in right now, I'm floating in about 180, 190 pips. And I only had, let's get rid of that. We only had about, Let me go to the lower time frame. Okay. So on this trade, we only had maybe 15 pips of drawdown, maybe 15. So if I close this trade out right now, right, even if I was to close this trade out right now, I'm looking at a 9-to-1 trade already on this, even if I closed it out right now. And I'm up almost $800 on this. And that's in my live account. And on the demo account, where do we 175.50 if I was to close this out right now. And I'm really shooting for this high right here, right? Really shooting for that high because of this. And if I make the high, the whole trade will be 586 pips. If I don't, I already know I could take some partials along the way. Okay? That's how you got to look at it.
I tell you what, it really feels good to be. I remember you told us at one point that sometimes you don't even need the fibs. You can see it naturally. Now I can see like 50% of what a candle's going to be and 38% and where the kill zone is. I'll wait for it to go and hold that area. So, for instance, with the gold cup trade call today, when it went up 50%, I just put the entry, and I felt like, you know, it's going to be good. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make a video of the screen recording I did, how I had barely any drawdown. Because I put entry with Ken Paul right after the retracement happened. It just yanked me in, and that was it.
Yep.
But my one other question, though, Cory, is so in this instance, on this trade that you're in right now, I would imagine that you put in your full order rather than putting in a partial. But why on the, you say yes?
I didn't. I actually didn't put the. Did I?
Because this one was a good setup. I mean, you had the low.
I didn't put the whole thing in, but I put the majority of it. I did put the majority.
That sounds so inappropriate, by the way. But anyway.
Oh man.
But the days when you say you tell us to put a partial in, why is that versus like what's going on right now? I wish I could go back and see.
Yeah. I understand what you're trying to say. Like, why wouldn't I put the partial in right here versus somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
And I did. I did. I entered two ways. So like I put the main order at 70, the 70%, right? And then the partial, I'm sorry, I put the partial in up here somewhere. So you know, after I saw that it rejected, right? So I put the main order in first down here, but I saw this candle reject. So this candle was the rejection candle. Once I see that it's rejecting, I'm going to put the main order in at the lowest point. And then I partial in along the way after I saw it's going up. So I did partial in, but if it's during a time or a situation where I would see that there is a potential for it to not do what I think it's going to do, those are the times when I'm going to say, put the partial in, you know, versus putting the whole entry in. Like, you know, if it's a lot of news going on, if it's someone speaking, if the futures are saying like, you know, if they're showing like slightly negative, slightly positive, or whatever the case is, then I'm going to be like, maybe I'm not going to give a, a full entry right here, because I want to make sure that what I'm seeing when I'm looking at the futures is right, because sometimes, you could be looking at the futures and it could be negative, right? But one of them could be positive, right? One of them could be showing, like I think today, for the majority of the day, NASDAQ was negative, and then Dow Jones and S&P 500 were both positive, right? So for me, it's like, okay, cool. I am going to probably need to make sure that I am in this trade for, I'm going to need to make sure that I'm seeing everything correctly, right? So if I'm going to be looking at this trade, I got to make sure that by me being in this trade, that I'm seeing all of the things line up properly. And if I see one thing that just don't add up the way that I want to see it, then I'm going to say, okay, let's enter in with a partial instead of, a full order, right? Is there a specific time you check the market? The time that I check the markets, there's certain times, right? I typically trade during New York session, and I'm looking at I'm looking for 3 candles in specifically. Let me hide this stuff. So when I first look at my charts, I'll go and look at the daily, and then I go and see what's going on with the 1 o'clock, the 5 o'clock, and the 9 o'clock candle on the 4-hour candles, right? And I do that because if you think about it, right, most of the money is moved between these 3 candles right here. These 3 candles. Don't get me wrong, there are moves that happen outside of those time frames, but the majority of the time, the money is moved between these 3 candles. And this is London candle, pre-New York candle, and the New York opening candle. You'll see me looking at these 3 candles on the 4-hour time frame. And I will typically not really trade outside of those time frames. Today, the only reason why I took that trade today is because of how I was seeing that the price was reacting at the opening week, the weekly opening price, which was right here. And I think Treese asked me about this too. What's the importance of the weekly opening price, right? Which I can bring up right now. So let's get rid of some of this stuff and I'll show you why that's important. So if we look at this, right, we don't need the 4-hour, we don't need the 15-minute, and we don't need okay. So let's go back and look at some things, right? What is this? Trend line, we don't need you either. Let's go back and look at some things. So this is last week's opening price. What you'll notice is that this opening price, typically, you can typically use the opening price as a key area throughout your trading week, right? And depending on what day it is, that becomes even more important, right? So just like throughout a single day, I focus on the New York candles, London candles. Throughout the week, you need to focus on Tuesday and Wednesday, because that's when the turn of the market is in most cases. You're going to either get your high or your low on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And you can typically look between Sunday and Wednesday, and you're either going to get the high of the week or the low of the week on between one of those days, right? And alongside that, right, you're also going to get a reaction to the opening price of the week, which happens on Sunday, right? So if we look at last week, right, and we can just look at last week on a 1 hour, right? This is how you like get a weekly perspective, but from an hourly time frame, right? So the weekly started right here. And let's hide some more stuff. We don't need this. We don't even need these or these. You can just go empty chart. So I analyze my charts on an hourly or the 4 hour for the whole week, right? And I can do that because I understand like this is the weekly opening price for this week, which was 3812.1, right? This is Monday, right? So for now, this is the highest high of the week, right? So throughout the week, right? Throughout the week, I already know I have two areas of major consideration, right? I already know I have 3812 to consider. And now that on Monday, if I haven't taken a trade throughout this time frame, I also know that I have this high at 39.15 to consider. So right now, if I'm looking at the charts, I know that I'll get a big trade off of this area or a big trade in this area. So I've already plotted two major trades for the week based off of what I know because of this candle and this opening price candle right here, right? I know that if I don't take any other trades for the week, right? Once price comes back to here, I know I got a big trade right there. And if I see price near here or hanging out near here, I know I got a big trade from here. I either got a major breakout from here or I got a major sell-off from here, which that's what happened. I know over here, if I'm selling from up here, I'm either going to get a major rejection from down here, or I'm going to get a rejection and continuation from this point, which that's what ended up happening. A rejection and continuation, right? So now that I have this established, right, just like I have a clear picture of what I should expect for this week. I see price is hanging around this area, but it's not breaking. And then I start seeing impulse candles to the downside. That's my key to understand that I can take a sell from right here, right? I see this broke a zone. I could take a sell from right here. I would have had one trade, two trades, three trades, four trades. If I extend this out, maybe a fifth trade right here. And guess what? This would have been the move of the week right here. Right here. This took me down for the whole week, right? And if I'm in this trade, I already know that the goal is, of course, I'm going to measure this out, right? This is my impulse candle. This is my impulse candle, right? If I don't use that candle, I can use this impulse candle right here. If I use this candle right here, and I'm not in up here, and I use this candle to get in my 50% right here, I'm trading down to 0, -27, -618, -100. If you can see this, right, the -100 basically lines up with the weekly opening price, right? So, I mean, of course, it's quite a few pips away, but I'm right around this area, right? So I know that at any given point, should be expecting it to come down or around this area. But at that point, for this trade, I'm probably locking in major profits, right? I don't even care what happened after that at this point, right? So cool, that's that, right? This is Sunday and Monday. This is Tuesday. This is Wednesday, right? So now on Thursday, right? Thursday, I see price playing around in this area, is not holding and rejecting. Guess what? I got another entry to continue to go down, right? And I also know that Thursday set the low of the week right here. I know it's Thursday. I know that my high was made on Monday. I know that my low was made over here on Thursday. And I know that I can feel comfortable with this low because it rejected the weekly opening price and it held this area, right? So guess what else I can do? I can start trying to buy. Here is 150% entry. This failed, but even though it failed, I still went in a profit. I can come back over here. Here is another 50% entry right here off of this impulse candle, right? It failed, but guess what? I still went in a profit, right? So no problem. So that's two failed entries that still went at least 100 pips in profit right here and right here. And I could have used this as an entry right here. So there's 1, 2, 3 entries over here. This is not an entry. This is just the low. And then maybe I'm using this as an entry too. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 entries. This one would have been a good trade because this went back to the went back to the weekly opening price on this wick, right? This came back down as if it was going to reject it. So this would have been a loss if we had to try to get into this. But that's okay, right? That's still okay. And then if we want to try to take this right here, we can break down to the lower time frame and probably find an entry over here as well, right? And we would have been in for this somewhere around this area. I'm pretty sure there was an entry on the 15-minute as well, right? So we would have had 1, 2, 3 bad entries, but still in profit. A fourth entry that would have hit at least back to the weekly opening price, because once we're down here, we're trying to trade back to the opening price, right? That's our primary goal. And then once we're here, we're trying to still, primary goal is trade back to the opening price. If it breaks above the opening price, you want to see this high get taken out right here. After that's taken out, then you want to say, okay, cool. This is my next rejection. I want to see that get taken out. You would have still been in right here. That's why this reacted the way it did right here. If this keeps going up, I want to see these highs get taken out. If these highs get taken out, I want to see it come after these highs right here. That's where I'm going to be looking to trade to. If this high get taken out, then guess who I'm trying to take out right here? The weekly high from last week right here, this area. And then you keep going. Weekly high get taken out. Guess who I'm looking for now? These highs right here. After that, these equal highs, right? I should get a real hard rejection around here. But after that clean itself up, I'm back over here trying to take this high out. This all-time high. Then, and if that's all-time high, guess who's still in the trade from down here? Me. Me, right? So, right? So we know and understand the weekly perspective looking at the opening price, right? We got a good explanation, right? So now we can get rid of all this stuff, right? Get rid of all this stuff. So that was last week, right? That was last week. Now we're in this week. The price opened up at 3842.8, right? It traded down below that, right? As soon as it opened up, so we just need to see this week, right? This is this week so far. This is Sunday into Monday right here, right? This, let's see. Okay, right? So the price opened up, it pushed up, then it dropped below the opening price, right? And then where did it go to? Last week's opening price. Where did it hold? Last week's opening price, right? What did it trade? It rejected off of this area and went to, where do we get this big wick right here? This big wick came at this week's opening price, right? It traded above that, pushed back down. Where did it try to reject? This week's opening price, right? It traded through it, right? But where did it turn back around at? Last week's opening price, right around there, right? Where is it right now? This week's opening price. This week's opening price. And we're getting some rejection right there. But that's okay. I already took a little partial off of that. So I'm just gonna let whatever else is in there just ride, right? But I'm pretty confident in holding this, right? Because one, I'm pretty confident in holding this order because one, it shouldn't come back here if it's ready to go. If it's not ready to go, then I'm already at break even. I already took a big chunk off, but my goal is to go up here. I know that's a real high target, so I'm not gonna stretch it, you know. So I'm gonna at least look to get, get most of this back from here. And that's okay, right? I know this is a really, really, really big target, right? From here, this is 500 plus pips. So for me, I took partials like around 190. That's cool, right? That's who don't want 190 pips, right? And I'll just leave the rest in, right? So, right? So now we already know we hanging around near this weekly opening price. I'm gonna be looking for price to break above this at some point. That's what I'm gonna want to see. And I'll know if it break above this. So far, this area right here is my weekly high. So far, this price right here is my weekly low right here. So now that I know that, and it's only Monday, between now and Wednesday, it's gonna break one of these, the high or the low, at least one of them, for sure. Okay, so let me see. Can I look at these for SPX? Yeah, but the targets are a little wide. These targets are like 100 pips a piece. So I mean, you could take these targets, but
All right.
like given this time of day, I would be careful with this because it's London. I mean Tokyo session, and let me see the other one. Yep, same thing. I would say go 50 per target right now. So, yep. Okay. Anybody else got any questions? Nobody?
Thank you for explaining again, Cory.
Oh, no problem. No
Appreciate
problem.
that, dog. I sent you a message, by the way. I'm sure you got it.
Hold on.
We already talked about this, Cory. It's just a reminder.
Let me see your chart, man.
I'm driving. You know I'm driving right now.
Oh, all right. All right. Who we about to call out?
Unless you actually want to see my phone.
No, I don't want to see your phone. I want to call somebody out real quick. Oh, I know who I'm about to call out. I know she ain't expecting it at all. She is not expecting it.
So signing. Me see one guy today.
Stella.
You know.
Stella. I need to, I want to see what you got going on, man. I know you got some stuff. What you got going on, Stella? She don't never say nothing, but she be getting it in, man. She don't even gonna respond. Let me see something. Let me see. She about to probably jump off the car.
Cory.
Yep.
Can I ask a question about that SPX chart?
Uh-huh.
I know that we're not supposed to predict, but would you say that it could be possibly forming a head and shoulders?
What time are you looking at?
Wait, what do I have this on?
I see one on the 1 hour inverted right here.
I think I have it on a 15-minute. Wait, I didn't mean to look at it on a 15-minute.
I see that on the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. I see another one, left shoulder, head. We looking to make a one right there. Then I see what you're talking about.
Yeah,
And
I'm seeing that as
right,
the left shoulder, the head, and a possible right shoulder forming in the future. That's why I said I know we're not supposed to predict.
yeah, I see what you mean though.
Okay.
I see what you mean.
And I see the inverted that you're saying as well.
Yep.
I see that too. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was seeing right. Thank you.
But pay attention to the higher time frames first.
Yes.
Like this off the 4 hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what did it look like we got going? Left shoulder, head, maybe making a right shoulder soon.
Mm-hmm.
If we're gonna make a prediction.
Right. Okay.
To make a prediction, let it be off of the higher time frame.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. I didn't get a response, so she don't get called out today. Gotcha. Okay. I guess that's it. No more questions. I never got a response to the person I was gonna call out. So I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. Somebody who's guest? Who is guest? Just send me a message. Who is that? Somebody sneaking on. Fred, Mr. Page. What's up, brother? What's up, brother? Yep. Always pay attention to the 4 hour first. Or, focus on the 1, the 5, and the 9. You'll see that's where most of the moves happen. 1, the 5, and the 9 on the 4 hour. 1, 5, 9. That's these candles. That's these candles. That's these candles. There's these candles. Over and over, it repeats itself. The majority of the move is going to happen. I mean, I can just show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 obvious examples. 7, 8. Can keep going over and over. 9, Like this is just 10 clean examples of this is where all the price move on that day. These 3 candles, all the price move on that day. This was a sideways day, but the move for most of the day happened right there. The majority of this day, the move happened right there. Then over here, sideways day, but when we did get some movement, it happened in between here. This day was a down day. The move happened on these 3 candles, and it got you in this whole move right here. Then we got this push up and rejection. Most of it happened right here. We got a rejection. Most of the move happened on this candle right here, on these candles. And this move got you into where we are right now. That's how you got to look at it. You can go back to this 80 million times. It's going to be the same way. And for the majority of all the currencies, you can go back and see the same thing. We can open up any pair. It doesn't matter what it is. Most of it is happening between that time frame. Let me get this. Most of it happening in between those. We can open up one. I'm gonna open up something I'll never trade. USD Mexican. Never trade this. We on the 4 hour. Here's we're gonna go back. Our candles, 1 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 9 o'clock. All the action. This day, 1 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 9 o'clock. All the action happens right there. Here's 1 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 9 o'clock. All the action happens right here. This trade actually was the trade of the week that would have got you in all of this right here. This happened. Let's see when this happened. This is last Wednesday. Or was it? That was Friday. What day is this? The 3rd. Okay, this was Friday, right? That was Friday. Cool, no problem. Then we can keep going. We can keep going. This is 1-5-9. All the movement on that day. This is Thursday. This also gets you in this trade for the rest of the week. Right? Here's 1-5-9. All the movement on that day. 1-5-9. All the movement on that day. This day was sideways, but when we did get some movement, it happened at 1, 5, and 9. So that's on the 26th. This was the opening for the week right here. That's the opening for the week, right?
Okay.
At that price right here. When the week opened, it traded down. It made the low for the week right here. And then we had it retest the low 1, 2 at a time. So we had 3 opportunities to get in at the very low of the week, right? We made a temporary low, right? So this is Sunday. Hang on, wait a minute. This 28th, first. Okay. Oh, that was February. Yeah, February 28th. Yeah, I was thrown off a little bit because that was that was the last day of the month. So we made a temporary low on Sunday, right here. Sunday into Monday morning, right here. Made this temporary low. We traded back up to the opening price and it rejected, created the new low. Sometimes you cannot hold on to the lows and the highs that are made on Sunday because sometimes those are not valid, right? Sometimes those are not valid. Yes, 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 and 9. That's correct. So sometimes like this happened right here. We couldn't hold the low we made on Sunday. We rejected the opening price and made a new low on Monday. That low is more valid, right? But then Tuesday happened. We made a low right here. That low is more relevant because more people are trading in the market on Tuesday versus Sunday and Monday. And then especially again on Wednesday, we confirm that low. So we hold this low. And then once we are near this low, here's our impulse candle right here that says it's time to go back up. This impulse candle just so happens to be in between this time frame. It's happening between the 1, the 5, and the 9 on the 4-hour. This impulse candle gives us the entry as well to go back up. And when we get this entry, it never comes near it again, ever. Well, at least for that week. We would have been looking to trade back to 1, take these highs out. 2, reach the opening price. That would have been our main targets, right? If it break and close above that, then we know we can hold, right? And that's what eventually it did. It held above it and then it ran. And then we also can see this is the low we measure right here. We had another 50% entry over here. Impulse candle, 50% entries over here. And now you in for this, right? And if you get in right here, right? Now you're like, where am I gonna go? This your first look. You're getting in over here, 0, 27, high, take that high out, 618, negative 618. That's these highs, 100, match up with these highs. And then after that is you aiming for this high. If it break above that, you just stay in, you just ride. And you just keep going until you partial all the way out. And in this case, you could have still been in this trade based off of understanding the weekly, but looking at it from the 1 hour perspective. So if you can understand that, then you can take everything that you see on the higher time frames and interpret it on the lower time frames, and then take your lower time frame trades based off a higher time frame analysis. That way you can say like, oh, I know I can stay in this trade, right? Because I just rejected the weekly low, right? For now, this is the weekly low. So I'm in this trade. I'm gonna be okay until I see it reject hard from here. If I don't get nothing rejecting hard, then I'm just gonna ride it. Right? Okay. All right. I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna end it there. Okay. And let me get you the video before you get off. Hold on. Please don't share this. If this your first time on, then you know, glad you made it on. And I hope you got something out of it. Hope you got a lot of value. I hope you review this video. And when you review the video, if you got some questions, you can hit me up and in my Telegram or however else. And then you know, you can let me know how you do. Demo it. Demo everything first. And then yep. There you go.
Cory?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I just want to make sure I understand. So you mean the 1 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 9 o'clock candle kind of set up the direction for the trade of the week, is that correct?
No.
What did you mean?
When you are looking at the 9 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and then 1 o'clock candles, that gives you the bias for that particular day.
Okay.
So, like, if I'm looking at this on the 4 hour, and I know I'm at a zone right here. I got a zone right here, right? I know I'm at an area that price should reject, right? And on this candle, I'm starting to see the wick. I know that if I'm seeing rejection right here, if I go down to the lower time frames, I should see my entry over here, like I just did. So this entry came around 4:30 right here. If I missed that, I had another entry. This entry happened around 7:45, and I would have been in this trade for the buy. I had 1, 2, if 2 chances right here, 1, 2, and then I even had a break and retest entry right here. And I even had another entry right here, but this is a little advanced entry right here, so I wouldn't show you that. But this is actually an entry right here, and then you would have been trading back to this high, and eventually you would have got that high right here. After, if you got this high, you would have been looking back back, back, back. Where's the next high? This is what you would have been trying to shoot for. If it doesn't get that, you partialing along this area right here. This was news, so this is funky looking, but it's news, so you know. But yeah, you guys got the video. Take some time, review it. Don't do anything that I just showed you in your live account. Review it first and demo until you get comfortable with it, and then have at it. It works. It works. It works. It works. And it's, if you learn how to do it right, it can get you into some very, very, very high probability trades with low risk reward. I mean, with high risk reward. Like this trade I just took, it was 9-1, and I didn't even take the whole trade. So cool. Hope everybody got some value, and I will see you guys later.
For sure.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cory.
No problem.
Thanks.
Thank you, Cory.
No problem.
Thank you.
Make sure y'all
Looking
save
out,
the
bro. Appreciate it, man.
video. No problem, man. Make sure y'all save the video. I already dropped the link already, so if you're not on my team, just shoot me a message and I'll send y'all the other video. All right, later.